Islanders, it's a new day, but it is yet another day where cruise protocols are changing across the industry. Fresh off the heels of Norwegian Cruise Line changing their vaccination and testing protocols, today Royal Caribbean International announces major changes to their vaccine and testing protocols. They are not as wide open as NCL, I can promise you that. For Royal Caribbean, it's going to depend where you sail from based on what your protocols will be. We're going to discuss those protocols, and we have a lot of questions about Carnival Cruise Line. When will they announce their protocols and what will they be? Let's talk about that as well right now on Island Time. A big happy Thursday to all you Islanders. I hope you've had a good week. We're almost to the end of it. Thank you for stopping by the show today. I am Derek, and together we're going to drop our anchors. We are going to relax and enjoy some time in the islands together as we have ever-changing protocols. Norwegian Cruise Line made it so easy, didn't they? Just a few days ago, they announced if you're vaccinated, you do not need to test for any cruise. Great news. If you're unvaccinated, you do need to test, but you can cruise. It was pretty easy, right? You looked at where you fell, you do that protocol, and you go on. Today, Royal Caribbean has announced they are changing their protocols, their vaccine protocols, their testing protocols, but it is not as clear cut. It is a reminder to us all, no matter what cruise line we're selling, be up to date with that cruise line. Look at their website. And then, of course, use places and communities like Island Time to get the breakdown of the news, how it affects the industry. We are here for you. Make sure you are subscribed. You've rang that bell to receive notifications when we upload content. Let's dive into the cruise news right now. Royal Caribbean and Celebrity both have announced they're changing their protocols, but it's going to depend on where you sail from, what protocols you're going to go by. This, of course, is in reference to July 18th. The CDC said our COVID-19 program has ended on July 18th. And now just a few weeks removed, we've seen all these changes. And you know what? It's not stopping here. We have more changes in front of us as well. Royal Caribbean, they're dropping the vaccine requirements for cruises leaving from certain ports. We're going to go over that. I want to tell you first, though, that these changes that we're talking about are going to take place beginning September the 5th. September the 5th onward, these are in effect. Unvaccinated travelers can cruise from these ports as long as they meet the testing criteria. That is Long Beach, California. That is Galveston, Texas. Let's talk about Los Angeles, California and Galveston, Texas, because there's a couple of caveats here. There's a couple of notes that Royal Caribbean released. Here's the protocols from Los Angeles and from Galveston. Cruising 5 nights or less. Short cruises here. Talking about short cruises. Unvaccinated guests ages 2 and over must present a negative COVID-19 test, but unvaccinated guests are welcome. 5 nights or less, Galveston and Los Angeles. That test has to be taken 3 days before you leave. 3 days, 2 days, 1 day before you leave. Vaccinated guests sailing from Los Angeles and Galveston who are vaccinated, regardless of their age, do not need to take the pre-cruise test. Now, cruises that are 6 nights or more from Los Angeles and Galveston, all guests ages 2 and older, regardless of your vaccination status, must present a negative COVID-19 test. Royal Caribbean is going to let unvaccinated guests on longer cruises as well, but again, they have to be tested, and vaccinated guests continue to have to be taken within 3 days of the sail date. The accepted tests do not change. You can take a PCR test if you want to, or an antigen test that's approved by the FDA. If you're cruising from New Orleans, Louisiana, you can be vaccinated or unvaccinated. Testing results, though, and testing protocols have not been finalized. Royal Caribbean is going to follow up with us on that. If you're cruising from Europe, You can be an unvaccinated guest, Royal Caribbean has shared. Here's some additional notes here. Only guests showing a valid vaccine card will be able to get off the ship in Grand Cayman. So here we start to see port of call or government specific protocols. Grand Cayman has said we only want vaccinated guests visiting our island. And that's fair, right? It's their life, it's their livelihood, it's their culture. They can make the rules. So only vaccinated guests will be able to get off the ship in Grand Cayman. Do not be surprised as we move through the next week or two if more countries, more islands start to say some of these same things. Missing from this list are cruises that visit the Bahamas or the Eastern Caribbean. Royal Caribbean had this to say about the Bahamas and Eastern Caribbean. We are working with local governments in the Eastern Caribbean to align on vaccination requirements for more itineraries. We want to ensure a great experience going ashore in these ports for guests of any vaccination status while meeting local health regulations. Royal Caribbean is actively working on this, but as you can see, these protocols are changing per port that you're cruising from. It's not as clear-cut as NCL. What do you prefer? Would you rather Royal Caribbean have one set of protocols? If you cruise with us, here is what you go by. Or would you rather have options? If you are not vaccinated and you want to cruise, you're excited about this news because you can sail from Los Angeles. You can sail from New Orleans if you wanted to. You could sail from Galveston. But some people want it more clear-cut and dry. I'm afraid we're in this period where we're going to see these different pieces and things are going to be different. Celebrity cruises, of course, a sister line, also announced that unvaccinated cruisers will be able to board. Beginning the same date, September the 5th, all travelers, regardless of vaccination status, can now cruise on the following celebrity cruises as long as they meet the testing criteria. All sailings departing from the UK and Europe, all sailings departing from Los Angeles to the Mexican Riviera. That's a special note there. All other sailings, including those leaving before September the 5th, they're still going by the old restrictions. They're still going by the old protocols. So it's not as clear cut. We've had so many comments on our videos the last couple of days. On our Facebook group, be sure you're a part of that. The link is in the description of this video. And people message me, they email me. When is Carnival going to announce? We don't have the crystal ball. I can't tell you the exact day they're going to announce, although I will throw this out there. I will probably get in trouble. Don't take it to the bank. Don't take this to the bank. Carnival historically has announced things on Friday. Go back and look at their protocol announcements, the return to service announcements. It's Friday, 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 Friday. I'm not saying they will announce something tomorrow, but I would not be surprised if they announce something tomorrow. NCL has announced. Royal Caribbean has announced. They look completely different. NCL is opened up. Royal Caribbean is more restrictive and more port-based. My question to you is, what will Carnival Cruise Line go with? What do you think they will go with? Do you think they'll be as open as NCL? Either you're vaccinated, no test, get on the boat. You're unvaccinated, you have to take the test, get on the boat. That's pretty clear, cut and dry. Or do you think they'll be like Royal Caribbean and these protocols will change depending on where you leave from, where you're visiting, and things like that? Let us know in the comment section below. That's why that box is there. While you're down there, I know you've enjoyed this content today. Leave us a thumbs up so this video is put in front of other cruisers who want to see content like this and belong to a community like this. We're going to sit tight. We're going to wait for news. It is coming. I promise you, Islanders. We'll see if it comes today or tomorrow. In any case, we will be here to break it down for you. We hope you have a great rest of your day as we cruise into the weekend. And we'll talk to you later on in the comment section below, on Facebook, and tomorrow, right here on Island Time.